We showed the other day about the guy who was making the post about Gary Nerdrotic just flipping out on Twitter, and then getting piled on by pretty much the entire internet, because at this juncture, everybody likes Gary. This is a point where he's actually probably more powerful as an influencer than anybody else in Hollywood, I'd say. What he says about Star Wars, what he says about Marvel, what he says about Rings of Power will carry more weight than almost anybody out there. And he's worked really hard for a long, long time to achieve that. Well, the guy got blown out, and when he attempted to cancel Gary, he actually made him stronger, gained him several thousand followers on Twitter by it. It was a beautiful end to a fake cancellation mob. I really think that this like leftist cancel culture where they try to go at you and try to destroy you is kind of going towards an end at this point. It never works. I mean, they go after me about once a week, and it just seems to gain you followers every single time. Must be tiring being them, just taking L's after L's over and over and over again. But the bigger L about this thing is the guy's post going viral may not have been just because of the fact that it was being ratioed. It might have gone viral prior to that because of weird bot situations on Twitter. So this may have been a promoted account in order to try to attack critics of mainstream culture, which is something that we've seen a lot. If you look at Disney, there's a whole deal with bot accounts all the way from YouTube to drum up extra views, bot accounts on Twitter to, of course, spread their messages. And it's been brought to us again by Master of the TDS, who's a wonderful Twitter account to follow if you don't already. We're going to get into the news in just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody, and I've been reporting the news and creating the news here for you guys ever since I came on the scene in 2017. Exposing what Marvel Comics did for The Federalist is when I kind of got my first start here. And ever since then, I've been making my own comics to compete with the mainstream industry. I'm a firm believer that we need to just change things, not just by complaining about them, but also doing and creating and building something different. So we've done that here with The Hidden Emperor. This is part of my sci-fi universe of graphic novels and novels, and you're going to absolutely love this. If you're a fan of what Star Wars used to be, Warhammer 40K, the old Flash Gordon serials, Valerian and Laureline, I'm bringing back classic science fiction comics for you. And we're doing really, really well so far, but we want to get to that 25,000 goal. You can help us get there. Come in today, grab the complete Ayla Rin Adventures if you guys are one of those tiers, if you are new to the deal, or grab the leather-bound edition because that's going to be absolutely beautiful right here. Would appreciate your support, and that's in the description below. Thanks so much for all you've done so far. For all the channel folk here who are regulars. All right, so Nerdrotic was attacked, of course, the other day. We showed this. This is from Grayson Minute Nerd News. Nerdrotic is a POS that we've all been allowed to operate amongst us for far too long. So this is weird because, again, it's like an implicit threat against Gary. And if you've ever met him, I met him at San Diego Comic-Con last year. Just a nice guy. Smiling, happy all the time. All these guys who paint all of us as they always go, yeah, they're angry bigots. It's quite the opposite. When you come into Gary's circles, or you're in our circles here, it's a bunch of people who actually care about things. It's very smart people. It's people who love to have fun. It's people who want entertainment to be entertainment again, because real life's tough enough as it is. And so he tries to destroy Gary through a thread. It didn't work very well. It got blown up. And so this is something interesting as a reporter. How did an X account with only a couple thousand followers post a thread of hateful statements and blow up to 5 million view trending topic across the internet? Well, it turns out that a social media analyst and investigator discovered this might not have been by chance. Instead, it appears this visibility would have been the result of a coordinated effort to manipulate the way X functions. And this could be just the beginning of a campaign intended possibly to create news stories out of falsely trending posts. After all, posts with no appearance of trending status don't make for great news articles. Very interesting stuff. And I've had suspicions that a lot of this stuff's been manufactured for a long, long time. All the support that you see for like things like the Acolyte and all these like accounts, you can see a lot of them use the exact same language, like they've been copy pasted, and it looks like Disney's employed bots to pretend like things are successes for a long, long time. And it's part of the way marketing works. That's the difficult part of being a creator. When you're somebody like me who has no marketing apparatus, it's just me talking here. You can see I've got 308 backers, which is actually huge for a project like this. We're only halfway through our campaign, so we're on track to do 500-600 backers. Amazing. But it's hard to get that out there because you need that social proof of this kind of success in order to get people to pay attention. Social proof is a big psychological factor for people making decisions to purchase products, etc. And so when you've got a company like Disney, well, they just employ these bot armies to make it look like there's thousands of people talking about this all the time. And that appearance of people talking about it sends signals to a lot of people's brains going, oh, I should check this out and see what the fuss is about. Even if it's negative, if it's positive, it doesn't matter. People want to check out what's being talked about. It's human nature. And so the bot influence on social media is a big portion of what that's going on right there. So you can see this is a very similar post, almost the exact same thing. Critical Drinker is a POS that we've allowed to operate amongst us for far too long. A thread. It's a mirrored thread, exactly the same thing. So what happened here? So if you look at the internet in every social media post that goes viral or not based on, you'd think it's based on its merit, but it's not always the number of eyeballs looking at Facebook or TikTok that causes it to skyrocket. Through social media, companies work hard to prevent this from happening. On occasion, we find some trending social media posts driven more by a synthetic effort. Though complicated and difficult to understand, bots can be deployed by shady efforts to mimic accounts of humans artificially pop up. So they ran Master of the TDS ran a bit on this, and he looked at this node map, and it looked originally, of all the accounts responding to Gary on this, this looked very organic. This is what a node map looks like when it's just human interaction and everybody just kind of seeing a topic. He thought it looked normal, no shenanigans. Then he ran another calculation. This time they ran a node map of the accounts following Minute Nerd News, and they limited the accounts to only those which are publicly available. In other words, they removed private accounts. Normally this wouldn't change the result much because private accounts are very rare on Twitter, and at least if they're actively participating in online discourse. What they found was startling, and here it is. It turns out the vast majority of accounts driving this thread to great public visibility were private accounts. This was incredibly unusual because, again, that doesn't exist very much. But then they also found there were two very public accounts with vast social media followings that were on the second node map you see in the article. It appears without any doubt to social media investigators that these accounts with tremendous influences were connected to a conspiracy to make this thread as visible as possible. At this time, the investigators are not disclosing what large following accounts seem to have been connected with this, but the original poster may not have been aware. It seems Master of the TDS that visibility of this post was dramatically increased in a way that was never intended to be possible on Elon's platform. It would represent a first step in a new way of damaging online personalities by artificially sparking topics online from smaller accounts willing to make bombastic statements. And when you get this right here, guys, what this means in layman's terms is that there's a bunch of bot accounts that were deployed by somebody, we don't know who, in order to boost this, in order to attack and malign Gary Nerdrotic. So he's the victim of bot accounts, but those bots are paid for or used by somebody with malicious intent in the culture in order to try to silence him. So this is what's happening. So whenever you see somebody coming under attack, whenever you see this kind of thing happening from an independent who's against corporate culture in general, you can expect that the corporations are doing something shady here, and it might not be the overwhelming public sentiment that there's things happening the way that they say. It's much like the bots that are promoting the Disney programs that I've talked about before. Those have been verified. Master of the TDS has shown these. He's shown thread after thread of these people doing it for the Marvels to gin up interest with definite bot accounts. For Star Wars The Acolyte, the same thing. All of these accounts have been deployed, and it usually is in conjunction with Disney. That's pretty interesting right here. We can't point a smoking gun to Disney right now, but we know that Gary's a harsh critic of Disney, and he's a big thorn in their side. His streams now are getting 12,000+ people every single time just talking about these topics and showing people how bad these shows that have been produced are. So they of course would want to malign and destroy him, right? That's something that is very, very obvious. So he has this guy before now is going. I heard we was whacking that effing weirdo Nerdrotic. Let me get my lick in right here. And so he, the guy who posted this, he got the attention that he did not know he was going to get by this. I doubt it was him deploying the bots, but there is somebody out there who looks like they're doing something. So we'll check into this, and we'll, of course, be following what Master of the TDS says. His channel is called Gothic Therapy, definitely worth a follow. Great guy who does a lot of really hard work and is worth your support. Leave a comment down below and with what you think about this. Are bots being deployed to attack us at this point? Yikes. Hit the like and subscribe button, and please make sure to back the Hidden Emperor. There's no bots here, guys. It's all you. And share this out to your friends too, because a lot less shares happen in the middle of the campaign than the beginning and the end. We need to get this word of mouth out there as much as possible, and the odds are stacked against us because we don't have bot armies or corporations doing the whole marketing for us. It's all you guys, and I appreciate you for being there.